that was a visual representation of the journey that we've had to come to this point, but we're here now, the wait is over. Let's talk about England. Alright, it's far too windy out there, so I thought I'd come back in here. I hope you guys are all doing very well. This is not the usual setup, but don't worry, we'll be back very, very, very soon. I just wanted to talk to you guys because I think I did this last time. I did this in 2018 where, like, you know, yes, you're going to talk about the tactics and all those different bits and pieces, but I think the important thing is to just have like normal conversations with you all the time. And so I want to do that right now and talk about England versus Croatia because there has been so much talking. The bulk of it from me. I have contributed a lot to it and the discussion about lineups and everything, right? So I just wanted to chat to you guys before we get started for the tournament and give you my thoughts on what I want, because I think everyone's got an opinion on it, and I'll give you kind of the starting lineup that I would like to see for England. But like I've said a couple of times now, what I want and what I need are two different things. Like I want us to go and win it. I want us to put on a show. I don't need us to win it. You know, it's not we're not at that stage. This is the youngest England squad, I mean, pretty much ever, right? The average age is around 25. And one of those players who's a little bit older is one of those, or two of them actually, in Henderson and Maguire, players who are, you know, coming back from injuries, which is obviously a huge concern. I haven't spoken about England too much in terms of those in-depth tactical previews because I think we're definitely going to do that on the channel. So if you are an England fan, I'm going to be doing videos reacting to the games straight after them, but I'm also going to be doing a new series called The Fallout, the morning after, probably live. It'd be good to know actually, guys. Let me know down below. Would you prefer me to do a show the next morning-ish live, or just give you my thoughts? Let me know down below. But we're going to go into all the tactics and all those bits and pieces. But as an England fan, and again, another question for you guys, as England fans, what do you want from this tournament? I want Gareth Southgate to succeed. I think I've been very clear on that. I like him as a person. I think he's a good guy. I think he wants the best for the people around him and for the country. I don't think he's ever been misplaced in that sense. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's ever deviated from that. And I think I like his principles. His principles are about the culture of the group. And I think in international football, you know, first of all, you will be judged on very small, minute moments because there isn't a huge data set. It's not like being a manager for a team, you know, that is in a league season where it's game after game after game. It's like, well, come on, fix it. With this, you're going off different kind of data sets, and you're going off data sets that are are against poor sides. Whereas you then go into a tournament and everything that we kind of learned in the qualifiers, quite possibly, it kind of goes out the window. And Southgate, he's taken a bit of a gamble with what he's done in terms of going culture first, right? He's said to those players, like, look, you go away, feel good about yourself. You know, his emotional intelligence, Gareth Southgate's emotional intelligence, is a lot higher than I think we all expected, right? So he's allowing all that to happen, and maybe it's not even emotional intelligence, maybe it's just he's a sensible dude, right? So he's allowing all of that, and what that creates concern about, understandably, is that we haven't seen it. We're not seeing what your plan is. We've not seen who's starting, and then you add into the mix all the different conversations you can have over players that should play or shouldn't play, or, you know, he's got to start and all that stuff. And again, coming back to what I want Southgate to make it very clear what his plan is, but at the same time he's going to have to be flexible, because I think this tournament might be down to that, and that could become a strength. My gut feels that you look at Italy and they play the same way, and I think that will be a strength for them. For England, the challenge for Southgate and his coaching staff is to find out what works in different games, because I think there's going to be games where England will need to dominate possession and territory and deal with a low block, and then there's going to be games against oppositions where they're concerned. You're concerned about the attacking output of the opposition. So going into this game against England versus Croatia, what I want to see excitement, I want to see energy, I want to see a plan, I want to see, and if that changes due to the substitutes, I think that's going to be a huge part of it. If you think of Rugby World Cups in the last few years, when you watch them, I don't watch rugby religiously, but when I watch those World Cups, the substitutes have such an impact. And with our squad and the attacking quality that we've got. I did a video with Julien Laurent, who I totally respect, and obviously is an outside perspective, and he said England has the second best attacking squad in this tournament. So we can go and score goals. Of course, Southgate's concerned about the back line, but again, we've got big names, and I think I'm always kind of leaning on the side of let's not get too excited, and I think we're all nervous about getting too excited with this. But what I want is I want to be excited, and I want, in a game against a wily foe in Croatia, a team that's, you know, the top players, you're thinking, you know, Modric, you're thinking the two centre-backs, like there's a lot of players in their 30s, and there's players that have left recently, but again, due to the, you know, the age of the squad. So it's not the same squad as before. It's a team that has lost and not truly competed with the sort of big nations from there on in, really. We've beaten them ourselves, and I think we've, you know, trended in the right direction, and Croatia have probably trended in the wrong direction. So I want us to go out and beat them, and really beat them, and play with energy. And I think we're one of the few teams that could really press an opposition. I'd love to see that. I want gusto. That's what I want. I want youthful energy. I want exuberance. I want pressing. And regardless of who's playing, and it's so easy to go, they just play with freedom. That's where I think, another thing that I wanted to say in this video is that there's been so much talk about the voices of you know, the players in terms of taking the knee, the voices of players in terms of their activism, and it's something Southgate's, you know, applauded, and he's fine with it. But I would say to you guys, you know, think about your voice in this tournament as well. Think about what you want to put out into the world. You know, does it want to be wrapped in anger, or does it want to be, or just think about what you're saying. If you're angry, say it. If you want to say it, say it. These platforms are for you. But think about what you're saying, and think about the reactions of what you're saying. And I know I'm so lucky with this this community that I've got, that the bulk of you guys think about what you're saying before you say it. Like, I see it in the comments, and I'm so lucky to have that. But just to say, because, you know, I've got an opportunity here to say it. Think about what you're saying, and if you are one of those few people, if by any chance anyone watching this video is thinking about, after a defeat or a bad performance, going after someone, think about your voice and the power of it and what you want it to say. Do you want it to be a thing that revolves around positivity, or do you want it to be something about negativity? Because I think that's something to highlight just quickly before we, as a group, right, dive into Euro 2020, because I'm excited. You can tell, right? I'm really excited about this tournament, and I want to believe in this team. But it might feel clunky for a few games, and it might not kick into gear, but as long as we're in the competition, we've got a chance. And in terms of the competition, you know, go back to what Julian said, we have a really good squad. It's young, it's inexperienced, and us as England fans and England as a nation, it leans on the side of cynicism, and I understand it, because like it's gone wrong several times. But I want England, I want them to play with that freedom, and I think that's so much harder than just saying it. But I'm excited by the group, because I feel like this generation of players are kind of wise before their years. They're comfortable talking to the media, they're comfortable talking on social media or whatever it may be, they're comfortable with their voice. So I really hope that we have a team that kind of comes together and is excited and plays on the front foot and plays without fear. That said, I'm going to give you my lineup and then my prediction for the game. In terms of my lineup, this is where it's difficult, because I think there's got to be an element of sensibility for Gareth Southgate. And I think there's two junctions in the game for me. It's like, where do you want to be at 60 minutes? And then what do you want to do after that? And what do you create in that first 60 minutes leads to the last 30? Because we've got so much depth, especially in the attacking areas. And, you know, the back four, you're not going to want to change too much. Maybe the fullbacks you would a touch if you're not playing both of them, and we've got so many great fullbacks. So here's my team. Pickford starts. Hey! No, I'm not going to do that for everyone. Pickford starts in goal. I would play a back four. I would like to see that kind of intent. I would like to see, if it was me, I would play Walker, but I'm happy with Trippier or James. Play whoever you want, Gareth, whoever you think's best. You know better than me on that one. But I would probably go with Walker, because I would play Stones next to him. Maguire, if he can play, then great. If not, play Mings or Cody. And, you know, you've got a squad there for a reason. I'm concerned about those guys as well. And of course, I'm concerned about the quality that Croatia has. That midfield, like Brozovic, Kovacic, and Modric, is still an incredibly good midfield. But I think, you know, we need to concentrate on having a nice balance and going and winning. Like, not being concerned about the opposition, go and win it. I really want to see us be proactive at this stage against. It's a perfect litmus test of a opponent in Croatia for me, because obviously they're very good, but they're not. You know, they're not top anymore. So on the left-hand side, I would play Luke Shaw. Like I said, Maguire, if he's available, then great. But again, on the left-hand side, if you want to play Chilwell, Gareth, do your thing. That's fine. But I would like to say play Luke Shaw. Now, midfield, this is where we all know that there's players that need to miss out. And like I said, in terms of the get to 60 minutes idea, and it being against a good side, I would like to see that kind of burnout of energy, and where we really suffocate the opposition and go from there. And so for that, I've thought about this a lot. I'm going to go with a really kind of sensible choice here. I would like to see Declan Rice and Bellingham. I would like to see Bellingham play. I'd say go, run, Harry, get on the ball and give it to those exciting players that we've got and go from there. Moving a little bit further forward, and I think Bellingham's going to have just a great tournament. And if you give him that opportunity, you know, I've read up a lot on him. He is another wise man, even as a 17-year-old. So he will be smart in his pressing and his work. And I think him and Declan Rice will give that great security whilst you play a back four, whilst also being a natural box-to-box midfielder. Now, this is the difficult thing. And I'm going to go with what I think is a sensible choice. But even as I say it, I'm not totally sure I'm right in it, and it breaks my heart a little bit to say it almost. I feel like for that first 60 minutes in a game like this, I think the pressing is going to be important, and I think you need to get that right if you are going to play with that energy. And for that reason, I want that, but I also want us to be able to stretch the opposition to keep them honest, because it's a creaky back line, and I think you can get at them, but I think you need the mix of someone in front with the intelligence and then someone going in behind. And again, if Southgate wants to go different, fine. I would play Mount for the first 60 minutes. I would play Foden on the right hand side, and I want that player who's going to run beyond, and I would have Rashford on that left hand side. Now I know people will be screaming, they don't like his form hasn't been great, and I think also you need to maybe have a look at how Croatia set up. How deep are they going to play? If they do play deep, then maybe you've got to make a change with Rashford earlier. But if Kane's going to drop in, I want that person who's going to go beyond. Of course, Kane will be my central striker. So this is a mix between. It's not really what I want, because I want Grealish on the pitch. I think he's outrageously good. And if you pick Grealish instead of Foden, I'm cool with that. If you pick Grealish instead of Mount, I'm cool with that. If you play Grealish instead of Rashford, I'm kind of okay with that. The reason I'm saying Rashford is I want that pace in behind, and I feel like he's the better option than Sterling at this moment in time. But again, we've got so much a luxury of options there going forward that if you work this team and press this team for 60 minutes and then you put on Grealish, yes, I can see it happening, like it being tight at that moment, and then Grealish coming on and absolutely tearing it up. What an option that is. Sancho, bringing him on, what an option that is. It's amazing, and I'm trying to get myself excited for it, but I almost know it's the hope that kind of kills you and makes you believe in it, and that's what it's like being a fan of any football team. But we are so privileged to have a team and a squad that could really win it. Like my sister got her sweepstakes. She got Poland. She said, "Do you think they can win it?" I went, "No." Scotland, can they win it? Like, no. You're gonna go mad at you. 70% of the teams in this competition can't win it. England can win it. Why not? Why not? So come on, Gaz, get them going. And it's going to be about the squad. It's going to be about the subs, and that's where the criticism about Gareth Southgate. I welcome it if he's not switched on with his substitutions, because that's such an advantage and an opportunity that England have. And so the previous, talking points about him not doing things quickly enough, that's not that's not really an excuse now. I think he needs to, yes, he maybe sometimes needs to kind of hold fire if he feels like it's right, but he needs to get it right, because he has got an embarrassment of riches in the attacking areas. So I know it's not spoken about Croatia too much, but I don't care. This is about England, and I want England. I just want us all to celebrate. I want us all to have a party and and win a major tournament in my lifetime. That's what I want. So let's go, let's have it. I will be reacting to the game afterwards, and then, as I said, during the tournament there will be the Fallout, which is going to be a new series, so keep an eye out for those, and let me know if you want me to do it live, or if you want me to just, you know, put out my thoughts on it, and then you know, let you guys see it in a neat package. Let me know. Get your predictions in as well. I think we win the game. I'd like to see us win it. I'd love to see us win it 2-0, strong 2-0. Clean sheet would be huge for the group as well, because I think that's the thing that we're all zoning in on, is that the defence is poor. So I'm going to go, yeah, I'm going to go solid, strong. Why not? 2-1, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. 2-0. There we go. Right, guys, I hope you don't mind the set and all this stuff, but I just wanted to have a chat with you before the tournament started. We'll be having lots of chats like this. If you have enjoyed it, then subscribe to the channel. If you want England to do well, hit the like button, hit the notification bell as well, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.